Would everyone please stand for the pledge of allegiance and remain standing for unification? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bow your heads. Dear Father, please be with us today as we have lots of decisions to make. Please help us and guide us as we make those decisions to make the best for our citizens and employees in the town of Mooresville. Please be with all of our military public service folks as they have difficult jobs to complete on a daily basis, and protect us from crime and all the bad in the world. And be with our citizens as they have difficult jobs and support us in all that we do. In Father's name we pray. Amen.
Welcome, everyone. Call to order the September 3rd meeting of the Mooresville Town Council. Members have had a moment or had an opportunity to read the minutes from our previous meeting. I need a motion to either approve or amend.
Make a motion that we approve the minutes from 8/20/19.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
First item on the agenda is our public hearing for the VFW alley vacate. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak either for or against the vacation of this alley?
Gentlemen, I'm Pamela Siddons. I'm attorney for the Hagee Family Trust and Charles Hagee, and we are here to ask you to vacate the alley.
Wait a minute. This is the public hearing for the alley between the two VFW properties. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry about that. Any comments on that alley? It's the alley that's shared by the VFW on both sides.
I see no one on the sign-up sheet.
Any objection to close the public hearing?
I make a motion that we close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Hey, Dustin. Close the hearing. And before us, we have ordinance number 5. This is the ordinance abandoning or vacating the alley between the two VFW properties. It will be ordinance number 5. Any comments or questions on the ordinance?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded to approve ordinance 5, 2019. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Is that acceptable? Okay. Also, at this time, we do have the request to vacate the alley between the VFW and the Hagee Family Trust. That was presented to us. We did not set a public hearing. It was about a week after. So at this time, what we would do is we would set we have a resolution setting the Is that it? Setting the public hearing? No, that's for the have Resolution 11, 2019 before us. This would be a petition to vacate the alley and set a public hearing for our next meeting, September 17th. We would need a motion to either approve or amend Resolution 11, 2019.
I make that motion. Sorry.
Dustin's got the motion.
Justin, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Justin Day, that is to approve Resolution 11, 2019, setting the public hearing. Have a motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
I kind of stole you guys having to get up here and request that, but we had requested at the last meeting, so we set that resolution. And so we will have our public hearing at our next meeting.
We can do this one.
Is that correct?
It's true.
You had it also, didn't you? You had it later.
It's a little one.
Is that right, everyone? You guys all right?
Mm-hmm.
Next item on the agenda is the Mooresville High School request for street closure for the homecoming parade. We have a representative from the Mooresville High School here. Please approach the podium, state your name and business.
Jennifer Vaughn, Morrisville High School Student Council sponsor. And we request permission to have a homecoming parade on September 20th, the usual route.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Do we want it, the stipulation that they have to win the game? I know we've done that in the past, and they've always
It's
promised.
not always worked well. Motion to approve, that everybody has fun.
There we go.
And candy.
Thank you.
Yes. That's the only reason Mark approved it. He wanted the candy.
Motion has been made to approve the closure of the streets on September 20th. And Dave, did you
I
say?
second.
Motion made by Mark, seconded by Dave. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is opening the bids for our old police station. We have 27 bids for this station. Actually, we have more. We have a bid from Eric Rogers. I hereby submit the property with the cashier's check for $5,000. The bid on the property is $227,507.
With that, Tom, we just had one bid unfortunately, but it does meet the criteria. With that, so I make a motion, we accept the bid.
I'll second said motion.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Question I have, of course, there doesn't need to be a purchase agreement written to get this accomplished per Mel's instructions. So how do you want to handle that?
I didn't hear the first part of that, Mark.
I said, per your instructions, we
Right.
need to do a qualified purchase agreement now and start that process.
Right.
Uh,
So So you want our office to prepare a purchase agreement for that?
Mark is.
What?
I'm
Tom would
looking-
rather me do it for free.
I'm looking at $350 an hour versus free. Is there any conflict of him doing it at no charge, or would it be more sanitary to have your office do it?
He is not, since he's not charging, there is no conflict, because he would be, he nor no member of his family or anything like that would be receiving any portion of the proceeds from the sale, so I'm sure the council would be happy to have you prepare that for free.
Sure they would.
Settled.
We need a motion in that.
I make a motion that we allow Mark to do this for free.
And I will hurry up and second that.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay, now, did you vote for?
I did.
Okay. Is there any chance that you would pay us to do that?
Let me think about it now.
Eric can't hear. Eric, thank you very much. We think we're giving you a good bill. It's served the town well, and we think it'll serve you.
Eric, we'll get together and get that accomplished, so.
Our next item on the agenda is our resolution for the town council, the town of Mooresville, approving certain matters in connection with the consolidated Mooresville Economic Development Area. I know we've done part of this in the past, but this is pertaining to the Poly property and creating an economic development area.
This has been already approved by the planning commission
It has been approved by the redevelopment board and the
and the
planning.
planning commission. With that being said, I'll make a motion to approve it.
Motion been made. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mark Dustin, is that correct?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, also part of the whole, oh, what was the resolution? I think we already did, we just did 11, didn't we?
Yeah, it'd be 12.
So we just do 12. Resolution 11 was the advertising of the,
12, 2019 or 2019-12?
let's do resolution 12.
12, 2019. Yes. If it's wrong, Mark will let us know.
That's true.
He said if it's wrong, Mark will let us know.
Months and months.
I think we
It's an invoice. Came to me.
Also on part of this, we had previously approved a study of our infrastructure. That was for both the south side and anything coming up that direction.
Correct.
Part of that was a feasibility study on any improvements that we had. We are now to the point that to continue on with Baker Tilly, we would have to approve a rate study as far as where we fall within funding those. A lot of the funding mechanisms have been looked at already, and we just need to move forward. However, we have to give our blessing for them to move forward.
Correct.
So,
Need a motion?
I would like a motion to enter into an agreement for them to finish that study.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion been made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Next item on the agenda, Nita Allenball requests to hook on to wastewater treatment. No, it says Nita.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
That's because we didn't want Steve to come up.
They hit on me last time. There you go, Tom. All right. Steve Allen, lifetime resident, I will hook onto your sewer line. Mr. Ward, did you guys find it, over there behind is that the farthest? Yeah, that one there's 230 feet from me, and I own the house in the back. And I want to look that way instead, that way I can buy an easement, and then jack with anybody.
On Meadow Lake,
And I just want to go straight back, I want to dig down the foundation, knock the block out there, and plumb it around. You can connect down there, and it runs right through my driveway, and it's only 160 that way. So, can I do that?
What does our sewer ordinance say about running across private property? Even though I know you own both parcels, it's still,
It does state that we're not to run across separate properties. Can't afford to deal with that.
David, I cannot hear you, I'm sorry.
Our sewer ordinance does state that we are not to run across other properties.
But we need an easement if we cross the other property next door.
How would I look on the other way, the other?
do we have easements on those others? And just a little bit of history, this goes back to
I remember.
Boyd Heights subdivision as a humanitarian effort. They had some failures on their septic systems, and we ran sewers up into those areas. The two lots where they are talking about, at that time, the owner of those lots, not them, the owner of those two lots absolutely refused to hook on and or allow an easement across it. Do we have an easement up to that property?
From our main trunk?
Yes.
Yes. He would be able to.
He would be able to drop it into that easement, but it's 260, which is,
I still have to cross two other properties.
well, we have an easement there.
Oh, so I wouldn't have to buy an easement from any of those people?
We have an easement currently there.
Can't I grant myself an easement?
That's where I was going.
Yeah.
He could request an easement on his own property. And then if it does sell, then he's still fine.
That's what my attorney told me.
He would dedicate an easement to us.
Well, yeah. Well, that works.
Okay.
We didn't realize that until we got to talking about it. We said, well, we can run it on our own property if there wasn't an easement existing.
It's shorter distance.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a snapping for me, it's a lot easier.
There was an easement drawn up in the plats, in the eventual sale. They would have the right to maintain that sewer line.
We would have the right to do it. Is that correct? Are we gonna run a lateral there, or will he have to run some sort of a main up to a manhole? How would we do that?
He would run his lateral to it.
All the way to the main, across his property, in the easement that they grant us?
Yes.
Would it be ours to maintain at that point?
Not the lateral, just the
Even though it's in the easement?
Pardon?
Even though it's in the easement?
But we don't maintain laterals.
But it's in and laterals usually aren't in our easement though. They run up to the,
It'd still be on your lap, I mean, it'd still be
yeah. That's
my
what-
property, it'd be your name. I had up to 2 cleanouts.
Those two parcels are not technically in town. The parcel numbers end in 04.
I don't have a problem with it, I just, so we know what we're,
Would it be a private easement? Is that possible? On his own property?
Well, in the event of a sale, though, it has to
Yeah.
be
And we wanna be able
Be
to,
a public
if we ever
event.
sell that, we wanna make sure that that's all
Let me ask
straight.
you, is that, there's two houses there, Bernardo's and McCarthy, she owns, I'm talking to her about that.
Right next to it.
Is that where it stops, or does it come on over to
No,
the
he
other
said it
property?
goes to our property.
Because he's still on septic, I thought, he's on the property, he didn't make a grant, and then told me.
Menardo's 2 doors down.
The real,
That's where that
the
happens.
real told me that, so it stops right there.
Versus running
2 down from us. Yeah.
which is what
But he said there's a street right in that comes across that next lot to us.
I don't have a problem with it.
When you guys.
Well, if we gotta maintain it, I'd rather run it.
It's in the annexation.
Yeah.
Looping around the circle. On the lateral, that's all.
Comments?
If we've got that worked out, the only thing I'd ask you guys to do, of course, is to sign a letter stating if we ever get a chance to annex it, then it should be annexed.
No problem.
Mel can draw something up like that. I don't do those, I'll just purchase it.
I see.
Mel, will you do for free to outdo him? Show him who the boss is? So you're saying that we'll just run it across an easement that they dedicate to the town? At the time when we do it, you'll maintain it until it comes into the town, until it's annexed into the town. But the easement will be there.
Correct. We'll need a legal description of that easement and your name and address, that sort of thing.
Okay.
With that, I make a motion that we approve.
I will second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now, can I turn this in now and become a bigger permit up, so you review the application? You want it now?
Tom?
I'm sorry?
We almost have to go ahead and get
Yeah, get the
everything done
easement
before we
first.
give you a pull
Okay.
permit.
So you want me legal description
And a legal easement in your signature?
Legal description and the name of the owners of the property there,
Okay.
and the address, the address.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Did you make the motion?
I made it.
Mark's second. Total tax abatement request, personal and real property. Right?
Noah, just personal.
Yeah, that's all I saw on the.
TOA is just
agenda.
personal.
On the
Creative
agenda.
Works, Creative Works is real. TOA has 2 tax abatements in front of you this evening, actually. One is an application on $64 million, the retooling of the 2020 Subaru Legacy. The other one is 11 million and change, which is the retooling for the 2020 Highlander, which is made by Toyota in Southern Indiana. So those are the 2 that you have in front of you this evening. They want to gain a tax abatement on their personal property through the process now so they can install that later this year. And then also later this year, they'll bring a third tax abatement application for the Toyota Sienna, which is a van that's made in Southern Indiana as well. So retooling the trade for the 2 key customers. And tonight's the request to start the process on the 64 million plus and the 11 million plus of the 2 real property abatements.
And the equipment for all the ones that they're replacing, it's still stamping out parts as we speak for service parts
Yeah.
and replacement parts. So
Right.
this isn't actually even replacing anything, this is additional assets to their company.
It might at some point replace certain older tool and die based upon the need to continue to make those parts, but basically what they're doing is, they're updating their current stamping for the new models, the changes have been made. So it's a situation where older equipment might be taken out of the process, but the newer equipment will come in later this year. One of the things that was noted to me by Mr. White, Bob White, who's the senior vice president of TOA, is that based upon their competitive nature and the two companies that they service. This helps them stay ahead of their competition on that wave when it comes to the new tooling for the new models.
Comments or questions from Mike?
I have none, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second said motion.
Motion.
Yeah, this is really tonight to introduce and then to send to council for the procedure.
Yeah, we'll
To do the declaratory and confirmatory and public hearing down the road.
But I think the motion is to move forward.
To move forward,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Motion is made and seconded on both items, both the 64 million and the 11 million. All in favor?
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is Creative Works.
And this is an application for real property tax abatement. Creative Works is housed here in Mooresville in a couple older buildings in the Bolton subdivision off of Indianapolis and Bridge. An area that's been targeted for potential street redevelopment through the redevelopment commission of the council plan. But we've also recognized that at the same time, those two buildings where Creative Works is currently housed can be spared on one of those designs for that roundabout that would be there in the future. And right now, from the, I guess, competitive and financial nature of what is going on with Creative Works in their business, rather than uprooting themselves and relocating to a newer facility, what they'd like to do is add on to one of the existing facilities to put in some research and development capacity and some other floor space that they can manipulate some of their existing area that's parking on the site. And they also then are working with their tax abatement partners, the same one that recently did work for Sun Polymers, that the council approved tax abatement for. So this isn't an incredibly large, but it's a very significant investment on behalf of this company and its interest in what it does worldwide. If you know Creative Works, they are manufacturers of gaming and entertainment systems, and it's really one of those off-the-wall kind of companies that we'd like to keep here growing in the community. So you can see that they've made their application and how they scored on the tax abatement matrix. I think it was a 10-year that they're eligible for, as I recall. And so we're asking tonight that you would approve the acceptance of that so council can start that procedure for them as well.
Again, a small company that's really taken off and grown. I'm extremely proud of them. And they're continuing to grow, but that's a good thing. But I would wholeheartedly support that we move ahead with this.
I will second.
I would point out also, if I may, Mr. President, that the company currently has about 72 employees, and this tax abatement is part of what would be an additional 30 employees to the company.
Well, you know, one of the things that's always been unique about Mooresville is their diversity in our manufacturing, whether it's auto parts or ice cream machines, or in this case here, like you said, something that's completely off the wall, a lot of people don't recognize. I do have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
We will move forward with that. Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Mike.
The next item on the agenda is a 2019 edit plan amendment. Edit is our economic development income tax that we have the opportunity to budget for out of. It is an income tax. We had adopted a plan earlier in the year. The plan called for us using $135,000 of the edit money for our match for the community crossing matching grant fund or paving project. One of the things that the state of Indiana does is keeps us on our toes by looking at different ways that they can drive our clerk treasurer's office crazy. It's a short drive, right? What they have done is, about 3 years ago, they said half of your MVH funds that come to the town have to be spent on road maintenance, rehabilitation, or improvements. What we did at that time was I thought was kind of thinking outside the box, is we assigned every job in the town of Mooresville, on the street department, a PO number. So if you were gonna plow snow, you were on PO number, for example, 1. That was maintenance of those roads. During our state of Indiana audit, we explained to them how this was working, how we were doing it, and they said that is fantastic. Back to the Christmas story, A+, plus, plus, plus. Well, that's not what happened at the beginning of this year. At the beginning of this year, the beginning of this year, they said that money now has to go into a restricted fund. By restricted fund, it means that we can only spend it on items that we can show directly that are brick and mortar, basically. They changed the rules. So in order to comply with those rules, what we've done is we took the $135,000 of matching grant money, or that we were going to pay for a matching grant, and we paid it out of that restricted fund, which is now we're really doing good for the state of Indiana because they really love being able to tie that to that one specific job. In order to do that, we had to move funds around. We now are paying that $135,000 out of what was our AMVH fund. So what we're going to do is, in the new plan, is we're going to pay part of our PERF and part of our health insurance for our NVH employees, part of their benefits, out of the edit fund. And that's what that reflects. Now, also in there, items that did not change, that were in there and have been in there, is our contribution to the Morgan County Economic Development Corporation, our funds for the cemetery maintenance fund, and then also funds for our health insurance plan that we had already budgeted out of and were in the original plans. So that is the amendment to this plan. It is not changing the amount of dollars we spent, it's just changing what funds we are spending them out of. Did I explain that well enough?
I think so.
Did a fine job, and I'll make a motion to approve it.
Motion been made, do I have a second?
Second?
You
I second.
Motion been made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is our appointments. We've kicked this can down the road a few weeks. I have received calls, I think other people may have received calls and emails from people inquiring about our police commission. I had one brave soul inquire about our planning commission. That said, Mark Taylor is not challenged enough in his life and asked to be appointed to our planning commission. Our planning commission has been short one person for some time, and we've looked and asked and been told no more ways and styles than I care to elaborate on. And Mark said, "Oh, please put me on there." Is that true?
I've always kind of questioned you a little bit, Mark. That sanity may go away.
Any comments or concerns, or
No.
we can table that? I know I just kind of sprung that part of it on you. We can do whatever you want to.
If Mark wants it that bad, I say that we appoint him. I make the motion that we appoint him to the planning commission.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded.
I was holding for dramatic pause.
Motion been made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next item, we do have the appointment on the police commission. I've sent the guy that contacted me, and I've talked to you guys, and I know we've all been contacted by others. Comments or thoughts?
Real quick, it's been a long time coming. We've held this open. We've talked about it in public meetings. I've spoken to a couple individuals, and one kind of stood out, sent me the resume. He has more experience than probably at least two of us combined. So the gentleman's name is Ernest Wilson. He lives here in Mooresville, meets all the criteria. Actually It's a very lengthy, distinguished career, so at every possible level. Police officer, looks like jail, DOJ, instructors, international, the list goes on and on. I was kind of blown away. He also meets the requirement as a little R Republican next to him too. So with that, I would like to make a motion that we put Ernest Wilson as our police commissioner.
I just
That would
want
be
to,
for the end of the resigning commissioners.
Correct.
Yes,
So that's
sir.
through 2019.
Yes.
Through December 31st.
and I agree with Dustin before the motion that we obviously had quite a few people show interest into this. This gentleman definitely has a resume that's, I think, very fitting. Didn't even know he existed in our town until he came forward. So I'd say he's probably a diamond in the rough on filling that position and bringing some experience to the position as well. So I'll second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Unfinished business, anything from the council?
Where you at on your baby box? It looked like it was getting closer.
Thanks for springing that on me. That's very nice.
Been prompted.
I'm happy to say that since the last update, checks have been pouring in and not just little checks. A lot of community leaders, some people up here. It's moving along at a very rapid pace to the point to where I had to put the brakes on a little bit. I know that's bad of me to say, but logistically there's some things that we need to check off, and I didn't think that in a couple weeks' time we would just grow leaps and bounds. So I tentatively would, I'm not saying no to any donations, but it is a very, very, very positive feeling that this will be fully funded by the end of the year. Fingers crossed.
Thank you for all the work you put into that.
Well, you're welcome.
Any other unfinished business? Under other business, Mark Taylor did approach me at the meeting, just wanted one announcement. On Saturday, September 7th, this Saturday, the Morgan County Humane Society will be holding a free vaccination clinic for dogs. They are concentrating on the 46158 zip code for the parvo disease that apparently is on the rise in Morgan County canines. It will be marked by, if I'm speaking right, nod your head, it will be free vaccinations. They will be provided at the park from 11 to 1. The park has no shelters available, which is a good thing. We're saying that, bragging about our park. But they're going to provide a tent that they're going to put up, and I don't know, do you have a general area?
At the pool parking lot.
At the pool parking lot. So please, if you care about it, I know that we all get attached to animals like they're our children, and if we vaccinate our children and send them away to school or college, let's vaccinate our dogs also.
I might think, Mark, I could be wrong, I was told that was dogs and cats.
She said it was just canines.
Okay, well, I was misinformed, then. Okay. Just wanted to make sure if that was the case.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other business?
Speaking of the Humane Society, you had tasked me with working out the logistical with dispatch. I believe that has been mostly worked out.
Okay. Legal counsel,
Nothing additional?
department head, Dave, you got anything?
Be redone on my last report.
Creek? Drainage? Everything good? So, okay,
A little bit.
okay. Well, it looks good what you've done so far. Comments from the floor? Any Need a motion for approval of payment of claims and a dollar.
Make a motion that we approve claims in the amount of $186,474.16.
Our next meeting will be September 17th.
Could we take a vote on that, please?
Oh. Sorry. I was just so excited about our next meeting. Motion has been made to pay the claims. Do I have a second?
I will second that.
You know, when Sandy yells at me, I know I'm in trouble. Motion been made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Now, our next meeting will be September 17th. It will be our pre-adoption hearing on our budgets. I need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion that we adjourn.
I second.
Motion been made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, everybody, for coming out tonight.
Sandy, you'll get a little different thing.
Oh, here, I got a whole stack. I can give it to them.
Is this it here?
Sure. Yeah. We're going to play volleyball. That's what I told you. He said 8:30, so I moved it to 8:30. Oh.
If you haven't read that, then shame on you.
Yeah, I got it at 8:30.
I was determined that wasn't gonna happen.
Well, I mean, I'm very happy for that, actually.
Yeah.
Well, how often she went her name?
There's some stuff down there was signed and I need a
Oh,
copy.
I think it's all, yeah, I brought it all over there. We, my granddaughter played volleyball tonight. Plankton was playing for her.
Oh, is that
We didn't fare well.
Yes. Yes. Well, I just need to make sure I say
All's good?
I really get in trouble.
Sure, whatever you get. Hey, Brad.
I don't know where that is. That's our 2010.
I'm gonna text from work too. Talk about it. You know,
I don't know. Did you send that email with the public hearing, what needs to be printed, what needs to be advertised? Yes.
we'll give you that stuff on the slide. And we'll have to, you know, this
One of those, I got this, so I'll go send it over.
purchase this on the insurance.
No, the edit. Oh, the edit. That's the edit.
Where is it?
Okay, this here. Check results. Yep, that way it's not, we don't start.
Well, no, we would push. I'm gonna put it in.
Oh, okay, that is the one that I said.
I see it.
sign it.
Tom, I'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Mark. Hey, Mark,
Yeah.
you want this or no?
Yeah, I'll put the stuff in there. Hey, at least got it for another $2,000.
Yeah. Well, we didn't want it, but we should have done it. We should have had Rex broken through it.
Well, big thing about it is Chris had already called Rich and he said he was.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what? He never did call me back. So when I talked to him, I said, I appreciate it. Because I had
I was calling you to cancel the game. That's what I was calling you for. All right. We would do that if you said that. Hey, any improvement. Doesn't have to. Okay. What is your problem?
Well, I have a few questions. Part of it, I assume, is from not having been here before and trying to kind of piecemeal some of it, what was going on.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I had a few questions, basically. But they're all, some of it, like, some of the things, I think it was just too much detail that I definitely don't go super into. But first one for the VFW Gordon doing all right? I was curious, what exactly was it that you were talking about?
Okay. This is it here. Are you familiar with Mooresville at all? I mean,
A little bit. I mean, I've been doing this job about 2 months, so here and there. I
okay.
see something.
Okay. Give me a piece of, hold on, let me get a scrap piece of paper here.
I can tear this off.
Okay. Indiana Street, and I'll draw with your perspective as it's been north. Indiana Street, this is South Street, this is the McDonald's.
Okay.
Okay, there is a strip mall right here.
Okay.
There's a tobacco store right here, and there's a parking lot. Now, the VFW, this is a long hill, and the VFW sits right back in here. Okay? Now, what's interesting about this, there's an alley right here. And this alley used to go back to an alley that ran this way.
Okay.
Well, this had been abandoned a long time ago for the VFW. The VFW bought this house right here. Fun fact about that house is that's where Paul Hadley lived, the guy who designed the Indiana State flag. We affectionately call it the Paul Hadley House.
Gotcha.
They bought that. I think the goal was to maybe restore and help, or keep that as a landmark.
Right.
So this would actually open them up to more room. Do you have 39 degrees north or EGIS on your, on any of your little fun things?
I don't even know what those are.
Oh, you don't? Oh, gosh. I showed this to, Anthony. And this is, you go to 39 degrees north, and then this will give us, Morgan County. It's got a pop out. But it'll give us property owners, tax bills, everything. And it gives it to us in a real cool way.
That's just an app.
It's an app. And every county has a GIS of some sort. And Hendricks County uses a company called Beacon. Morgan County just happens to use 39 degrees north. So, let's see. I know where we're at. This, and they really clean this up, this is the alley.
Okay.
Now, this right here, usually it's just taking a time, it's not identifying itself for some reason. I don't know why. Usually you can poke on there and it may be the Wi-Fi in there. But when you go to it will give you, 39 degrees north will give you a thing called Elevate. Elevate will give you the counties that they service. Go to Morgan County and it will give you the tracts and who owns it. They own this property right here, and this is the alley. But they also own this little parking lot here, VFW. So we vacated this parking lot. Basically what they're probably going to do is expand this parking lot a little bit. They've taken out a lot of these trees. It really looks nice. It really highlights that house.
So when you're saying vacate, by the way, just for me to know, that means
It's an
vacate.
alley, it was an alley that the town owned and maintained at one time.
Okay.
However, if you look, it's grown up there, and we've not used it.
Right.
And they've said, hey, this no longer serves the purpose of a town alley.
Right.
So we are saying, we're out, we don't want no more. Now, the next item, when we advertised this, is this lady came in, and you met her, and she's representing this family here, the Hagee family. And she said there was also an alley right here. Right here. Gotcha. And you can see that it's it's not being used either, it's just grass. But if you look at this house, if you drive by and look at this house actually has garage doors in this end. So at one point in time, the cars actually drove down here and pulled in down this alley and pulled into this here. Originally, when they vacated this alley back here, the family that owned this said, we're going to vacate this alley here, and this family said, we'd like to have this alley, and they said, okay, you can have it, but they never did it. It never happened. And the VFW bought this one, and then this here, and now when the VFW said, we want to vacate this alley, and she came in and said, hey, I'm representing this family, and they want to do this, and the VFW said, we don't really want that alley, so that's fine, so we're going to vacate it. Usually what we do is we take the alley, split it in half, give half to this property owner and half to this property. Well, in this case here, VFW doesn't want it, we're going to split this, we're going to take and vacate it, and we're just going to give it all to the Hagee family. Now what's going to happen is our treasurer will be notified that, hey, guess what? You now have more property to pay taxes. We're not using it, we put it on the tax rolls and boom, someone else has it. So that's the vacation of those two properties.
Gotcha. And then this one is for next week. You approved, today you approved.
We approved vacating this one,
Right.
and then we approved advertising this one for a public hearing.
Okay.
Because what's going to happen is, we're going to say, is there anyone here to speak for or against it? Now, why would you do that? If someone said, hey, I live back here, and I use that alley on a daily basis, you better not give that up. But in this case here, this property, and all of this property here is owned by the VFW.
And so this one will be going to the, how do you spell that family's last name?
Hagee, H-A-G-G-E, is that correct? Is there one G or two? H-A-G-G-E. Oh, wait a minute, maybe on him.
Sorry, make you look at all this paper.
It's all right. You're going to find out, but if you're patient with us, we will be patient with you.
Very patient. I try to be very, very patient. Like I said, most of my questions again are coming from the fact that I don't know, haven't been here before, so I've got to figure out all the different vernaculars.
Is this it?
Oh, it's just one G.
Just one G, H-A-G-E-E, my bad.
You're good. And so they own the property here.
Yes, correct.
Cool. And that, but you won't decide on that until next week.
Until
Or
our next
the
meeting.
17th.
We'll hold a public hearing, and then if there's no one here to demonstrate against it, we'll just move on. Next item.
Yep. That was hopefully a smaller question. The police station bids. At the beginning, somebody said that there was. You said I think there were 27 bids. and
Yeah,
then someone else
that
said
was a
there were
joke.
one.
That
Oh,
was a joke. There was
okay,
only one.
okay.
I was wanting to
I got every other joke. That was the only one that I was like, wait, there was 27. So there was one.
there was only one bid.
And that went to what's his name? I have it written down. Something Rogers.
Eric Rogers.
Rogers or
Yes.
EG? Okay, just G. And it was 227,507. I think.
Correct. And see, it had to exceed 225,000.
Okay, so and it was, and that's what you guys were all talking about. It was a low bid, but you didn't really. I mean, you
Well,
didn't have anybody else.
it had to, what we had to do in order to sell it that way, and what we've looked at is, we looked at a way to sell, the three ways that we could sell the properties. We could have a live auction, we could have a sealed bid auction, or we could actually list it with a realtor and drag it out. The problem is, we had a certain number that we had to be at, and that certain number was the average of 2 appraisals. So we had it appraised, the average of the 2 appraisals was $225,000. So when we advertised that the bid had to exceed $225,000. So we had just a little bit of interest in it, but as you see,
But they
we
didn't
only had
know.
one.
You didn't know what other people were bidding.
Right,
which is why
exactly.
That's why.
And that was the 27 bids, just to give him that oh crap factor. And it was a joke. Please don't.
No, it's okay. I got it now. I got it. For sure. So for the RDC plan amendment thing, you said you guys approved moving forward with a study, right? That was a separate
Senator, that was a separate thing. What we've done is a financial company that we work with called Baker Tilly.
BAKER, Baker Tilly?
Yeah, Baker T-I-L-L-Y, is that right? T-I-L-L-E-Y. They look over all of they kind of help us with our financials. In this case here, they have looked at our expenses, our income, everything with our wastewater treatment plant. And now, what we approved was then to go ahead and do a rate study. Okay, where would we need to be at X? Where would we need to be at Y?
A rate study, you call that?
Yes, a rate study. Our sanitary sewer system is a publicly owned utility. If you pay a sewer bill in the town of Mooresville, on the property, you own part of our publicly owned utility. Historically, one of the big problems has always been is politically, people don't want, elected officials don't want to raise sewer rates because the public sees it as a tax increase. I have to pay this. This is something I have to pay and it's going to go up. And really, we've struggled in the town of Mooresville because we went from 1983 until 2006 without an increase. And it kind of put us behind the eight ball. Then we had another increase in 2010, is that right? 2010. And now it's time to look at another increase. We're not looking at a way to get rich. Hi, Dennis. What we're looking at is a way to, don't print. We're not looking for a way to get rich, please.
Right, I got you. I won't take cheap shots.
What
Don't worry.
we're looking for is we're looking for a way to keep the wastewater treatment plant solvent and to keep it ahead of the curve on maintenance, upkeep, and expansions.
And it's the wastewater treatment facility, you said?
Wastewater treatment plant, yes.
And so the thing that they did, it was you approved it
We
to
approved
do
them doing
a
the
rate
rate
study
study, yes.
on that plan.
On what is it costing us and what should we be charging?
Okay.
How much is a gallon of gas? I wrote that down. I promise.
And then the actual plan amendment to the RDC, what was, I was a little bit confused, like, so you guys moved it out a little bit.
Mark Day on the COA. I'm sorry, say
No,
again?
you're absolutely fine. So for the RDC plan amendment itself that you guys approved, I moved through that a little quickly, and I was a little bit lost as to what that was exactly.
What happened is, at the end of last year, our redevelopment board bought, or redevelopment commission, RDC, bought 100 acres at the south end of town. It is.
That was last year?
That was December 31st. What this is doing is this is establishing it as a redevelopment or an economic development area
Okay.
to where a redevelopment board can grant tax abatements and proceed with trying to attract businesses to that area.
Okay. Nice, that makes it nice and clear for me, actually. Great. Almost done.
No, you're
And
fine.
the next one actually should be pretty quick. Thing with the Ball stuff, it was very technical, and I don't think I need to go into all that because it's one person's thing. But just
what we're going to say is they're going to grant us an easement where they can hook on to our.
they're going to grant you an easement.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that was a thing.